one red, pour out the Jameson for ancestors to swig.
You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother dudes. You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother dudes.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, anti-white supremacy bill.
We back with another Umar original. You know what it is? Black Fathers Initiative of Cleveland.
Here's what I want to say to Congresswoman Lee.
I know I usually come in like that.
Beautiful sister.
I was trying to
even at
sound
her
different.
age. Drop dead gorgeous.
Black Fathers Initiative of Cleveland. Really appreciate the love. Make sure you guys click the link in the bio. Like, subscribe. You know what to do. You know what it is here. All black everything. Think about this black love, black relationships, black wealth, the black community, and just talking about the black community.
This anti-white supremacy bill real carefully,
just discussing the black community, conversation. I love the comments. Keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. And I do, comment back. So definitely drop them. And then, like I said, I like to get the different insights from different comments as well.
I'm going to dare say,
appreciate that. Keep that going.
I cannot support your bill,
you know what, I'm back with another Dr. Umar
unless it's only
official
against
interview.
White people.
This was done by a
if this
website.
is going to be a multicultural bill, I cannot support it because your bill seeks to cut down on quote-unquote
I'll
hate
have the name
speech.
by the end. I believe
Who
it's called,
determines what is hate speech? According to your
TV,
bill, people in the conscious community can be charged with a federal offense simply for telling the truth about white people.
In my description, so you can
according
go
to
check
your
out
bill,
their page. They have a lot of good
if your language isn't specific
well,
enough, this so-called white supremacy bill can end up being an anti-black freedom of speech bill. So, dear Congresswoman Lee, although I think you mean well, sister,
and
I think you mean well, I want you to double-check this bill, because if you're going to fight for a bill that restricts speech, they're going to use it against black people more than against white people. And how do I know this? Because we already have a federal hate crimes bill. The federal hate crimes bill was supposed to protect black people. The federal hate crimes bill was supposed to protect black people. The federal hate crimes bill was supposed to protect black people. But the federal hate crimes bill is being used against black people more than white people. Shirley Jackson Lee,
do you feel it's kind of unfair to criticize an athlete or entertainer?
Is it fair to criticize?
I need you to rethink this.
An athlete or entertainer for their failure
no disrespect,
to be an
Congresswoman Lee,
absolutely
my dear elder.
Not. Why?
No disrespect,
Dick
Congresswoman Lee, my dear elder.
At one time, was the most prolific black comedian in this country.
You could
he was
put
still an
your
activist.
time
Harry
to better
Belafonte,
use
one of the most prolific black musicians.
By
he
putting
was still
a bill
an activist.
through Congress
Let's look at Muhammad
for black
Ali,
jobs,
who gave his whole career
to
up
put trade schools back
against
in
white
the black
supremacy,
high schools,
trying to send him to go fight against yellow
to
people
change
when the
the
white man ain't even making America
incarceration
safe for black
laws.
people.
See,
look at Colin
I'm
Kaepernick
trying to
in the knee
understand
that he took.
why the Congressional Black Caucus is always majoring in the minors.
The black athlete
I'm
and
trying
the black
to understand
entertainer.
why the Congressional Black Caucus is always majoring in the minors. I'm not going to say that that's not relevant, but that's not our biggest problems. Congresswoman Lee, our biggest problems are
said, I will pay her bail money.
How about a bill for black teachers?
Aretha Franklin, the queen
How
of
about a
soul,
bill
says, I'm
for
going to
community
finance
control
the
of the
freedom
public
of the most
schools?
revolutionary black woman in America
How
at that
about
time.
a bill
the most
to help the
hunted
black
and the most wanted.
homelessness?
We have
Police
always had a history
genocide.
of
How about
entertainers.
pushing the
Jimi
George
Hendrix
Floyd police
wanted
accountability
to finance the
bill?
Black Panther Party, and as a result, he was
Economic
assassinated.
castration. How about a reparations bill or economic stimulus bill for black America? Miseducation, mass incarceration, gentrification, police genocide, access to wealth, not restricting hate speech.
First major artist to own his own
Don't
mafia.
get me wrong.
So look at our history.
Hate speech is dangerous.
With black men and
but
women
that's not the biggest problem we have.
As an athlete and an entertainer, in order to speak against and actively fight against injustices against black people. So the question becomes:
put a bill through for jobs, a bill through for schools, a bill through for mass incarceration, a bill for homelessness, a bill for reparations, not no white hate speech, because they're going to use it against us more.
Dr. Umar, I got to throw on one thing before you continue, right? It was a different ecosystem during the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different level of collective mind frame, and also the whole social and political environment was different. So that kind of bred that type of energy. That is not existed in this time. So we're looking for an expectation for someone in that time, in this time, and that's why I said it's kind of unfair in a sense. Continue.
I'm gonna push back using me. I got 6 degrees, doctor, most known black school psychologist ever. I could go to the system and be a millionaire by diagnosing ADHD and learning disabilities. Would it be acceptable for me to do that just because the context in which I exist is a very coonish, anti-African context? You understand? So for me, I don't think the expectations change with the times. The expectations stay consistent. So when I'm looking at my political work, I'm not comparing myself to Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, because that's not much. I'm comparing myself to the ancestors. I'm comparing myself directly to Garvey. How am I stacking up? Not in a competitive way, but in a way to fulfill his works. I'm looking at Frederick Douglass. How am I stacking up? I'm not comparing myself to the president of the NAACP, because that bar is too low. So I don't expect nothing different of me than was expected of those ancestors. Why do our behavior change just because the level of consciousness changes?
All right, I want to give 2 examples, right, before we continue. Say Bob Marley, for instance.
Okay.
Bob Marley was around some Rastafari ancients. You get what I'm saying? He was being exposed to French for and all this type of stuff. I don't know, these people chill with rappers. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're just in a different environment, so they're not getting that teaching and that.
So are you arguing that black entertainers and celebrities represent a Negro aristocracy that must be free of accountability?
No, it's not the sense of free of accountability. I think the expectation is wrong. I think we should be looking to other actual leaders instead of...
No. When you are at war, everyone plays their position. When you're at war, everyone plays their position.
I don't think they view themselves as being as war in a war.
Well, because they're comfortable. But they definitely understand what black people are going through. They saw what Kanye, they saw what Kyrie, they saw what Cosby. They see that at the end of the day, we don't see you as no different than anybody else. They know that. The issue is the money has made them so comfortable and so fearful that they don't want to step out. The real issue is not the fact that they're a celebrity. The real issue is they were raised by black parents in a black community that did not value freedom and black masculinity. Because at the end of the day, my brother, put activism to the side. We're talking about black masculinity. Are you a man? It's the same thing when people say, well, hey, Doc, you said Barack Obama didn't do nothing for black folks. That's true, but what could he do? At the end of the day, he could have spoke to what we were going through as president of the United States. I can't fault him for not being able to make all the changes. You got to fight with a Congress. But you didn't even speak to what the hell I'm going through. You follow what I'm saying? Are you a man? Because here's my thing. If an athlete, if a football player, if a rapper is going to tell me because of where I am and who I am, I cannot fight, then don't ever call yourself a man again. Because a man is not made a man by his circumstances. A man is made a man by what is inside of him. So if you don't have the guts and the courage to speak up and fight for black people, I don't care who you are, then don't ever call yourself a man. Because the definition of a man is consistent in your defense and protection of your community. And if you feel you don't have an obligation to defend and protect your community because of your money and your professional, you are not a man. Politically, you have been emasculated. So they have to make up their mind.
Once again, man, Umar taking it there for you. What I can say is he's absolutely right. I think everybody in this country, in this world, at least most black people who have any sense of consciousness, definitely see that our black billionaires, not all of them, but the ones who got their billions from music, we see that the majority of them aren't going to do anything for the community other than maybe go back, shoot a video, and throw money in the air or something of that nature. But other than directly pumping the community and helping the black community build its own economy and infrastructure, they're not on that. And I think the reason being is because before they could even reach the amount of money that these guys are at now, I believe they had to make an agreement, had to sign an agreement, make a pact, oath, whatever you want to call it, and say pretty much, we are, we're on this side. Like, we chose this side, we're on this side with you guys. And as long as you guys, hold up your end of the bargain, which is, keep us millionaire, make us billionaires, keep us in front of the people and help us and keep us, able to make music that manipulates the masses, then, we cool. We don't care, and that's how I think. And then when you agree to it and say, all right, cool, yeah, we'll do it. That's when they put you on that pedestal, and all of a sudden all these doors start opening for you all of a sudden, all out of nowhere. But when you say no, those doors don't open and they shut, and it's curtains. But I always felt like, since Muhammad Ali, because I grew up with Muhammad Ali, well, not with Muhammad Ali, but grew up knowing about Muhammad Ali. He was still, in my time, I believe he was still boxing. I'm sorry, in my time he wasn't still boxing. He had stopped boxing, but I do remember him being an activist and being on TV a lot and speaking out a lot. And I always thought that was that's what famous black people were supposed to do. Like, I always felt like if you're black and you're famous, you should be speaking out against the things going on in the black community. When we first got hip hop, before gangster rap, that's what they were doing, talking about what was going on in the community. And even with gangster rap, a lot of the gangster rap was what was going on in the community. Just happened to transition during the time of the crack epidemic. So, really lightweight transition from hip hop to gangster music. And talking about selling drugs, drinking 40, smoking weed, having sex. But once again, these billionaires, in my opinion, they have all the power, but they won't do anything, because if they do something, they'll try to take everything from them. And unlike Kanye West, I think a lot of them are pretty much dependent on this system that they have signed a contract to. So if this system turns their back on them, there's nothing, they would be out of everything. They would be back at the bottom. So I think that's why our black billionaires and millionaires don't speak out much against, the things going on in the black community, because they got to keep their money safe, keep their family fed. So if you was in that position, you'd probably do the same thing. So who knows? But once again, Dr. Umar, as always, great interview, great topics. Appreciate the love. www.blackfathersofcleveland.com. Make sure you go check out the website. Peace.